Good Tuesday morning from somewhere in suburbia. I hope you can hear me. I don't have a lapel mic yet. Yep, I'm still live. I think I've got a bit of a poor connection too, so good news. Always a challenge. Okay, so I just had my light box out because, oh my God, this is the first really dull day. And I noticed the effect on my energy system, so I've got myself a light pod, and if you want to know where I got it from, just PM me, because it is amazing this time of year to use my light pod. So just for a moment, as we've done in the last 6 days, is to just take a moment with me to get present so I can gather my thoughts and so that we can be here together. Taking some deep breaths in and out. So welcome to day 7 of this transmission, day 7 out of 30, talking about bold, ballsy, directive, orchestrative, controlling yang women. So to recap, if you're not sure who she is, she's loud and bold, and she will direct your life. And if you're not sure who she is still, and you maybe know some women in your life, or maybe you are one, you can go and check out Yang Woman on my website, ginahardyyoga.com. So the last few days we've been talking about the challenges of being a strong directive woman. In a way, she's a little bit inauthentic, I think. Having too many balls when we don't have balls is quite disempowering after a while, because we go further and further away from our natural feminine essence. We wonder who we really are. We create and direct our lives, and we have this whole spider's web of appointments and schedules, and that's at work and at home, and we're directing other people's lives. And I really love to use the analogy of being the director of a movie. You know, some women play the director of the movie with their partner, but most women who are yang are directors. Their partners might be producers, and then there's loads of actors and stagehands, and these are all the other people that interact with our lives. And then there's all these challenges over the age of 40 that come along just by natural effect. Excuse me, the angle grinding going on in the background, so I'll try and talk a bit louder. So we have all these life challenges, and they can be quite profound, and really with the body aging, so many more things show up. Yes, and Steph, you're right, people pleasing and over giving. Oh yes, totally, yes, that's exactly right. And so we have all these life changes, and I think, you know, to some extent we can be inauthentic, having too many balls all of the time, and we can suffocate ourselves and our health. And yesterday I was talking about being a control freak and how we set our lives up when we are really controlling. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. We think we can do it better than anybody else, so we go, give it here, I'll do it, don't worry, you go and do something else, I'll just run the show. But also at the same time being very resentful. So if you want to watch the videos that I've already posted, they are for the last 7 days up on Gina Hardy Yoga page, so go have a look. And quite funnily and timely, today I want to talk about feeling alone. And actually today, that's exactly how I feel. I've been telling myself stories in the last 24 hours, which is a repeat pattern. You know, I've got an old mum to look after, and I'm an only child, and I don't have a partner, and I don't have brothers and sisters. I've got amazing friends, but, you know, it's easy to look on the negative side. And feeling alone is not a great feeling at all for anybody, but yang women, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy somehow. So if you think about all the things I've said over the past 7 days, we do create this feeling of aloneness to a great extent. We are doing everything, we are directing and orchestrating, and yet there's a really fragile vulnerability to us, which we don't often want to show. But when we're doing it all, and we complain about doing it all, behind it is an aloneness. Who's going to take care of me? You know, maybe not even a partner. And tomorrow I will talk about the effect of being very yang and attracting yin partners, yin men, yin women. And being alone is not a great feeling, but then I also realised that having done so much self-growth, it passes much quicker than it ever used to, because I have tools and techniques that I can help move it through. But the aloneness is a very mental thing. It's cerebral. It's not really here, in my view. And I notice that when I do feel that in that space, I drop into my body, I go out for a walk, I do something to move the energy through, because it is only a state of mind. And you know, you'll see loads of stuff in self-growth about being alone and how you feel when you're alone and what you can do about it. So I'm not going to preach to you, because you already know those things, but I just really wanted to recognize that aloneness is part of being a yang woman. And you might be an incredibly popular person. I am. I've got loads of friends, heaps of friends on Facebook, amazing friends in my life, and new friends coming in at the moment who have been coming in this last year and who are phenomenal. You know who you are. But just to recognise that aloneness can be part of this big interplay that a yang woman has. It's like we're so confident and ballsy and directive, but there is such a fragile, soft underbelly that we don't often like to show. So aloneness is one of her challenges, and yeah, that's why I do self-growth. It keeps it moving, and I think we can always feel that way. It's on and off. Everybody feels that, you know, it can move through. It's just a recognition, and later on in my series of videos I'll talk about the importance of sisterhood, of hanging out with other yang women so that you can really get one another. You know, we tend to hang out with a tribe who are like-minded. We gravitate in and out of friendships all of our lives, but I want to talk about the importance of sisterhood, and also on retreat. I will be talking about retreats. So tomorrow I want to talk about yang women and yin men, or yin partners. Oh my goodness. When I woke up to that, I really realized, you know, if I want to attract this man who is manly and all of the things I want him to be, I need to embody the authentic feminine essence of who I really am, which is happening quite by chance right now anyway. I'm much more yin than I used to be. But that's what I want to talk about. And then on the next set of 7 videos, I'd like to talk about the desires of a yang woman, because that I feel is really important. And I'm hoping that by now, with all these challenges, that you are starting to create a picture of who this is. And we're all degrees of this, don't forget. Don't forget there are single yang women. I'm a single yang woman. I have got friends who are. And there are women who are married. There are women who have got kids and who are married. And we're all of different ages, but mainly kind of the over 40 age bracket, when things are really starting to change, because maybe some big life questions are starting to occur with you as loss happens more, maybe. And even maybe the loss of this, you know, amazing, fit, young body as it changes, you start to really internalize. And maybe as the outside of our world, we become less focused on the outside, we turn inwards more. That's an essential part of becoming yin, is that this is more of reflective internal feeling. So we start to think about what's happening on the inside a lot more. So aloneness, you could be surrounded by people but you still feel alone. And I'm not saying do anything about it specifically, because you might have your own coping mechanisms, but I just want to say I salute you, I honour you, I know how you feel, and until tomorrow, I love you. Namaste.